Hello there. This is From the Heart, Take 8. And what I'm going to talk about in this chat is a really, really dark time in my life. In 2011, when I was strangled twice, just within less than 6 months of each other. So in 2011, I was supporting people with mental and physical challenges in a nonprofit. Adults, children. I had a lot of one-on-one clients. I had high-functioning clients, and I had clients that were blind and nonverbal and struggled with different diagnoses. One of my clients became very fixated with me, very obsessed. And there were a lot of signs that this person was posing a potential threat, that he could be dangerous. And I had people around me kind of warning me about it. And I was so lost in my addiction, in the fact that I was separated from my husband and my children. And I was just drowning in so much fear and so much confusion. And so one day, it was in April of 2011, I was teaching dance and exercise, because that's what I did, in the community room. And before I knew it, this person had me dangling up off the floor, strangling me. He was a lot bigger than I am, a lot stronger. And one of the support staff who worked there was able to release me. And, I went into another room and took a little bit of time. I went after my shift was over, because it was towards the end of the day. I went and I was checked out and got some muscle relaxers. I had, bruises and definite signs of strangulation. And I went back to work the next day. And I proceeded to, for the next few months. I would sit in my car and cry before I walked into that job. I was so afraid of speaking up for myself, of not having a position. This is how low I valued myself, that I didn't do anything about it for months. And I struggled, and I was quiet, and I stuffed, and I drank. Until I went out on temporary disability. And at the same time, I met a man who I've spoken about in this series, and I've also written about him on my blog in the post "A Monster Came Knocking" on Emotional Musings. And this person proceeded to beat me, rape me, and also strangle me. I woke up one morning to being strangled, to him on top of me, strangling me, and I literally saw my life flash before my eyes. And so my attempt at trying to regain control of that situation was to take my own life. That was how low I had to go, to really lose complete self-respect for myself, the shame and guilt that I was carrying, the confusion, the fear, all of it. All of these things, all these signs that were popping up, I was just ignoring all of them and really hurting myself, over-exercising, not eating enough, drinking, taking drugs. It was, when I recall it, it just sounds like another version of me, that I can see her. And what I have done is I have learned to love her. She was in such a survival mode, in a fight, fright, freeze. I, at that time, was certainly not fighting for myself. And I don't mean like in a confrontational way. I mean in just, the act of strangling somebody, of literally trying to stifle their voice, their power, their strength, their communication. Many years later, when I started to really tune into my gifts, and one of my gifts is past life regression and understanding what's happened in my past lives, that person, that man that I was in a relationship with, was somebody that killed me in my most recent past life. And that is the truth. That is my truth. So coming into realization of all of this was very empowering. The fact that after I woke up in the hospital, having to look at what had happened to me for 6 months to a year, how out of control my life had become, it was time to take my power back. It was time to start healing. And that is something that I hold so dear to me, is hope. And hope has been my focus for a very long time. I actually have certain words placed around my space. Hope is one of them. Dream is another one. Pray, believe. Those are things that I will never let go of, because they are things that I did let go of. And I know how absolutely unstable, chaotic, dysfunctional it felt inside to be ignoring myself to that level. And that was my wake-up call. And for a long time I had flashbacks and, a fear of being in public. I thought that I saw this person. My mind was so, I would say to the doctors in the hospital, I feel like a 1,000,000-piece puzzle that somebody just dropped on the ground. That was my breakdown. I had to be shattered in order to regain my strength and my power and the belief in myself, and that I was worthy of so much more than I was allowing in my life. And I would love to help you if you are struggling, if you can identify with these feelings, these emotional roller coasters, this inside, what is happening? There are many of us that are waking up, that are gifted. You are magic. What you have to share with the world is so special, and only you can share it. These are the things that I've learned to do to hone my skills. And in this community, From the Heart, I will hold space for your heart. And we will move through what you have gone through and what is next for you. Get curious. Lean in. Love yourself. These are the things that I work with within my sessions, one-to-one, using my voice, the connection that I have with my spirit guides, light language. We move the energy, creating clarity and a way that you can listen to your own heart, something that perhaps you have forgotten about or disconnected from. All of these things are possible. I am living proof that they are. So stay tuned for a couple of more From the Heart chats, from my heart to yours. Namaste.